Welcome to our 7-day travel diary as we explore Vietnam. From Ha Long Bay to Train Street in Hanoi, we take a guided tour filled with daily excursions while we eat traditional food and drinks. We visit the ancient town of Hoi An, the dynamic energy of Ho Chi Minh City, and the Cu Chi tunnels from the Vietnam War. Our private tour begins when we get picked up at the Hanoi airport by our tour guide. It's so luxurious to get picked up every day and not have to research and plan everything on a group trip. Our first stop is Train Street in Hanoi. The street is lined with cafes and the atmosphere is lively. We try the vegetarian spring rolls and local beer. All of the seats fill up as tourists await the train. The train comes and everyone records on their phone and then cheer afterwards. On day 2, we took a full day tour of Hanoi, which is the capital and also the oldest city in Vietnam. The Trang Quoc Pagoda is the oldest Buddhist temple in Hanoi, built in the 6th century. Inside of the pagoda are the ashes of monks. At the shrine, visitors can burn incense to send wishes to the gods and receive good luck in return. The one-pillar pagoda is a Buddhist temple that is rising from the lake. It was built in 1049, which shows a long history of architecture and spiritual significance. For lunch, we enjoyed traditional Vietnamese food, which was included in the cost of the tour. We told our tour guide all of our different food preferences, and the restaurant brought out dishes to our liking. Everything was flavorful and healthy. Part of the tour included a 45-minute rickshaw ride through the Old Quarter. The French Quarter was built during the French colonial period. French colonial rule in Vietnam was from the late 1800s to 1854. We saw 5-star hotels, high-end restaurants, designer shops, and colonial architecture. The rickshaw took us around the Hoan Kim Lake. In Hanoi, there were many shops selling popular brands at discount prices. There were Birkenstocks selling for $28. There were Jordans on sale for $30. For clothes and bags, there were popular brand names all selling for a discount price. The backpacks were selling for $23 and the fanny packs were $11. There were many designer replica watches for sale. The price started at $37 for a low-quality replica. There were so many places to eat in Vietnam. Plenty of open-air restaurants, street vendors, and fancy restaurants. It was easy for us to find vegetarian restaurants using Google. Beer Street is a super popular tourist area about 2 blocks long. The vibe was lively, with each of the bars playing their own loud music. It's where lots of young tourists go to party. Walking slowly through the crowd took us only a few minutes from one end to the other. Every day starts with breakfast at the hotel, which is included in the room's price. At the Tyrant Hotel, there were so many delicious food options, plenty of fresh fruits and traditional entrees. There was also a forage and egg station. I really liked all the food options here. The drinks and fresh juices were so refreshing. After breakfast, we got picked up and driven to a pearl factory. We were shown a demo on how pearls are cultivated by placing air tints inside of live oysters. The oysters would be placed back in the ocean, and after a few years, a pearl would be formed. Outside of the factory, there were food and drinks available. I got to try the fresh pressed sugar cane juice. It's delicious. After a 3-hour bus ride from Hanoi, we took a small boat to the main ship for an overnight cruise on Ha Long Bay. The staff were also friendly and welcoming. They all spoke English. The ship was very clean and modern. There was Wi-Fi in the rooms and in the lobby. From the boat were moody and calming. It was nice to be right in the middle of nature. There were several activities available, and we selected kayaking in the nearby bay and swimming next to the ship. The water was not too cold. For dinner, the vegetarian option included banana blossom salad for appetizer, and the entree was pizza, fries, spaghetti, and vegetable soup. This morning we took a tender boat from the main ship, then a bus ride to the Cat Ba Islands National Park. We walked to the Trong Tran cave that was used during the Vietnam War as a place of shelter. The walk through the cave was an easy 35-minute walk. We saw lots of stalagmites and stalactites, which are the icicle shapes hanging from the roof of the cave, formed over thousands of years from calcium deposits by dripping water. After checking out of the cruise, we returned to the Hanoi airport to catch a flight to Da Nang. The airport had a very flavorful vegetarian pho. In Hoi An, we stayed at the Mulberry Collection Silk Village. It was great how the tour selected really nice hotels. The breakfast buffet had a variety of food options, including Asian food and lunch items. Do-it-yourself Vietnamese coffee bar was a fun addition to the breakfast buffet. The coffee was sweet and not very strong. The basket boat ride was a fun excursion. We got on a small basket boat and went down the lazy river for about an hour. We got to see the water coconuts in the river along with hundreds of other tourists. For an additional $4, you get a spin. After the boat ride, we explore the ancient town of Hoi An. Located next to the river, there is a blend of Japanese, Chinese, and European influences. For lunch, we had traditional vegetarian items at Morning Glory. We tried the yellow curry with bread, crispy DIY vegetable pancakes, and fried spring rolls. travel blog famous for their custom-made clothing. If you have an idea, they can make it. We selected the fabric and they made a custom blazer in under 6 hours. How does it look? The nightlife in Hoi An is filled with colored lanterns. You can take a casual boat ride on the river and set paper lanterns with candles onto the water. The night market is filled with music and different food vendors next to bars and cafes. On day 6, we take a 1-hour drive to Mai Son Sanctuary. It was built between the 4th and 13th century by the kings of Champa, an Indianized kingdom of the Cham people who are of the Austronesian group and the original inhabitants of central Vietnam and coastal Cambodia. What's left of Mai Son is a cluster of abandoned and partially ruined Hindu temples. The tower temples have architectural designs symbolizing Mount Meru, the mythical secret mountain home of Hindu gods at the center of the universe. The monuments are made with fired brick and stone pillars and decorated with sandstone. After Mai Son, we took a 1.5-hour flight to Saigon. We made it just in time for dinner at a vegetarian restaurant. Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, is a forward-thinking city. There's a lot of partying and nightlife here. On day 7, we take a 3-hour drive to Mekong Delta. We visit the Vinh Trang Pagoda and see their large Buddha statues. This is one of the best-known temples in the region. At Mai To, we take a boat cruise along the river and see the simple life of local communities. We take a rowing boat ride through the small canals surrounded by water and coconut trees. They take us to different islands around the delta. It was like a hop-on, hop-off experience. At one of the islands, the locals sing for us. Then we get to see their coconut candy making factory. We take a tuk-tuk ride through one of the villages and see how the locals live. Back in Saigon, we visit the popular large indoor market. Crossing the street in Saigon is not for the faint of heart, but it's definitely something you'll remember. On our last day, we visit the Cu Chi tunnels and learn about how the Vietnamese communists, the Viet Cong, hid during combat during the Vietnam War. Going inside one of the underground tunnels was a very unique experience. The temperature was cool and the entrance was well lit in the beginning. But deeper into the tunnel, it eventually became pitch black. The ceilings got shorter and shorter. It was nice to finally get out into the fresh jungle air. Near the end of the tunnel experience, we got to shoot an AK-47. You wear ear protection and then hand your seat to the supervisor who loads the gun for you. The guns are mounted, but there is a little room for movement so you can aim. For our last meal, we enjoyed more traditional Vietnamese food that was included in the tour price. In Saigon, we visited the War Remnants Museum. Outside, we saw American military planes. The museum was educational in showing how war has a lasting effect on the world for decades to come. Inside the museum, there are 3 floors with themed rooms showing how Vietnam has dealt with the different aspects of war. Last stop in Saigon was the famous French-designed post office. Thank you for joining us on our journey through Vietnam.